Hey guys, so we have another jam-packed, powerful, big week of astrology. Definitely some shifting vibes going on. We have a new moon in Virgo this week. Both the sun and Mercury will be changing signs. We have the sun coming into a square with Mars. From both of Mercury's signs, we're going to want to try to cool it a little bit this week, you guys. And we also have a lot of Uranus activity going on. Uranus is also stationing to go retrograde. So there could be some definite realignments underway this week. Lots of activity, very busy week. Each day we have something playing out that is shifting things, changing things. And even today, to start our week, we are in black moon energy, but the moon is forming a square to Jupiter simultaneously, which should be doing something to try and lift us out of the deeper, darker shadows that we may be falling into. We also have Mercury coming into an exact trine with Pluto in the sky today, you guys. And after this past couple days of Mercury opposite Neptune, Mercury and trine to Pluto is going to have us really digging for the truth about some things, really trying to figure out what's been going on. So we got a whole bunch of energy going on to work with today. This week, let's get into this report, you guys, and see what is playing out exactly to start our week as we're heading towards our new moon in Virgo this week. Welcome back to my channel, everybody. Today is Monday, August 22nd, 2022. My name is Aubrey, and this is your astrological outlook of the day. If you guys stick with me until the end of this report. I'm also going to be talking about some tarot cards that came out in correspondence in conjunction with the astrology that we have going on, just so we can sort of tap into more than one modality of energetic interpretation and get a read on what we may be likely to experience this week. And we actually had quite the story coming out in the tarot today. So you don't want to miss that as well. But let's start with the astrology, you guys. Yes, we are in a very significant week in terms of the shifts that are going on, the changes that are happening, lots of shifting vibrations. First of all, I mean, every day we have something going on this week. And, it starts with today. Like I said, we have the exact trine between Mercury and Pluto going on today, which we will go into much more detail about as we get through this report. But I sort of want to outline our week this week just to start, because we do have so much going on and coming at us. So today, like I said, we have that, and we'll talk much more about everything that is playing into today. Tomorrow on the 23rd, we have the sun leaving the sign of Leo, moving into the sign of Virgo. So this is obviously going to create a palpable energetic shift, as well as the sun is changing signs and going to be going from these, Leo vibes to the more, a more introverted energy. Virgo, this is the sign of the healer and the harvest. This is about sort of getting down to work, more of a focus on our day-to-day lifestyle, self-care, our habits, our routines. This is a very it's going to be a very interesting Virgo cycle that we have coming up in the context of what is going on with Mercury and what is going on with Mars and the square to the sun that we have coming up. It's going to be an interesting time, but we are definitely going to be shifting vibes out of the more fun loving, let's just enjoy life Leo vibes into the more okay, let's get down to business, let's get organized, let's get a routine, get on routine, let's make some plans, let's get our schedule in order, let's do what we need to do to take care of ourselves and to get back on track with being more healthy and stuff like that. So that's sort of what we are moving into starting tomorrow. And then on the 24th, we have Uranus stationing in the sky. And then on the 25th, Uranus will start moving backwards. Uranus will go retrograde. And because Uranus has been so active lately, Uranus is the great rectifier. Uranus is the great awakener. Uranus is the great liberator. Uranus brings blessings in disguise, silver lining planet, but also a lot of times brings sudden, shocking, unexpected, things that just hit us out of the blue and make no sense at all in the moment, but then later down the road when the pieces sort of come into place, we're okay, that was sort of the linchpin and all of this stuff that needed to happen in order so that this whole other situation could unfold, which is actually so much better for me. That's the type of energy that we're dealing with when we're dealing with Uranus. And lately there's been a lot of Uranus activity going on because Uranus has been in a conjunction to the north node of the moon, which is the destiny point, and this is sort of the next phase of growth and the lesson plan, and it's kind of fate being activated in a very spontaneous, sudden, shocking way that may be really shaking the foundation of our reality, something we may have experienced. But I will tell you guys, now that we have Uranus stationing retrograde this week, I'm getting this feeling like stuff that started to happen that then for some reason like some really surprising stuff that may have started to happen but then, or that did happen but then like didn't seem to pan out, or totally disoriented us, or totally threw like all of our plans up in the air and seemed like this big chaotic mess or something. With Uranus going retrograde this week, I feel like there's going to be some more shocking things that happen that sort of like put stuff back on track. It's like, because there's going to be 3 passes of Uranus, okay? Like Uranus is retrograding. And so that means that Uranus is going to go backwards where the original conjunction formed between Mars, Uranus, and the North Node. And this was huge. The Mars-Uranus North Node conjunction that we had on August 1st, this transit, and it was in the sign of Taurus, was really trying to like give us the courage or suddenly like push us off a cliff in a direction of something that we actually truly want and is actually in the best interest of our soul's like growth and development, but that, you know, we may not have been able to do for ourselves, or that just may have seemed unrealistic to us, or that we may be like reconsidering at this point now, maybe like questioning our judgment or if we made the right choice, or, you know, could have just, like I said, came through and totally just threw everything up in the air for us and seemed like a terrible situation happening. Now that we have this retrograde going on, Uranus going retrograde, I feel like it's going to be like phase 2 of that plan. Like something started, something happened. It may have been shocking. It may have been chaotic. It may have like totally like knocked the wind out of us, sort of. And now there's going to be like phase 2 of the plan. And we might get some more like, just like surprising shifts and changes that are just sort of spontaneously happening in relation to things that have already started to happen though. And then in a few months, when Uranus goes direct, this will be the 3rd pass. Uranus will come through, and I feel like this will be when things like that began to happen originally around August 1st really start to make more sense and like pan out in the direction for which they were originally meant to, if that makes any sense, if you know what I mean. So Uranus stationing retrograde this week, I feel like is in some ways going to be doing something to impact or to affect or to rearrange things that happened around the end of July, the beginning of August. So we're just going to leave that there. We will talk much more about this as we get through this week and we get to this day when this energy is actually happening. Then on the 26th, we have the sun coming into an exact square with Mars. We have simultaneously Venus going to be an exact square with Uranus, and Mercury, who is ruling the Virgo cycle, will be moving into the sign of Libra, which is ruled by Venus in the square to Uranus, who is just stationed direct. The 26th is likely to be a very unusual day, and we're really going to want to watch getting in fights and arguments that just sort of cause us to want to like totally break free from whatever situation that we are in order to pursue our desires or align with something that we actually want for ourselves and restore some type of like mental balance in some type of a way. Like there's some big time mental conflicts that could be coming at us throughout the course of this week that may really cause us to just want to like escape or free ourselves from something in some way in order to bring back some type of mental harmony or mental balance or mental cohesion. So the 26th should be a pretty interesting day as well. And then the new moon, like I said, is happening on the 27th. So just the day after this energy, the new moon is going to be happening on the 27th, which is in Virgo, which is ruled by Mercury, which has just moved into the sign of Libra this day before, where all of this business is happening. So that's really interesting as well. And then on the 28th, on Sunday, we have Venus coming into an exact opposition to Saturn. So you guys, and that is another transit that could be, I mean, we'll talk more about that, but this is applying some pressure in terms of finances, in terms of relationships. Although Saturn loves Venus. Saturn and Venus actually have kind of like, you know, a respect and appreciation for one another. So this could also be helping us to really like refine and mature own perception of like what we want going forward. There's definitely some stuff going on this week that is shifting our perception, our desire of what we want, and maybe helping us to mature a little bit in terms of what we want, what we desire, what we value. And but simultaneously, like, we may be very inspired to like break ourselves free from something that we feel like is holding us back from being able to come into that alignment. So very big week that we have going on this week. Now today, obviously, you know, this is a daily report. Let's specifically talk about what we have going on in the energy today. We are in black moon energy. Like I said, the moon is in the sign of Cancer today. The black moon is also in the sign of Cancer. So whenever we have the moon or the black moon coming into the sign of Cancer, this is what gives us our the sign of Cancer or Capricorn, because the black moon works in oppositions. This is what gives us our black moon energy. This is what triggers or activates the black moon and the position of wherever the black moon is at. The black moon in Cancer, this is a sign of the home. This is a sign of the mother. This is how we feel supported and cared for and nurtured and appreciated. And this is also how we give those things, how we give and receive love, care, nurturing, support, all that type of stuff. We have the black moon being triggered and activated those signs. It can definitely bring up issues related to those themes: home, family, mothering, support, care, nurturing, our ability to do that for ourselves, our ability to do that for others, and any type of like fears, worries, insecurities, or doubts in relation to our ability to do that for ourselves or in relation to our ability to do that for others. So that is just sort of like the nature of what we are dealing with when we have black moon energy being triggered along the axis of Cancer and Capricorn. But luckily, you know, if you've been following my channel for a while, you know that we had like a black moon summer. Like June and July were months that were just sort of like totally immersed in this black moon Cancer energy. But moving into the month of July, this has really shifted for us, and Jupiter's presence in Aries is also really helping us out with this, actually, because because of Jupiter being in Aries right now, whenever the moon is coming into Cancer or Capricorn, it's also forming a square to Jupiter. And Jupiter, you know, this is a square aspect, which are not the most positive aspects, but even the square, when we're talking about the moon and Jupiter, has a tendency to uplift us, to bring hope, to bring optimism, to bring like a sense of like just like inherent positivity, even though, you know, we may be dealing with some of these more negative, darker, depressing type of issues. And so it is doing something to alleviate, I feel like, on some level, some of the darkness emotional darkness also, that can really be associated with this black moon energy. And it's helping us to not sweat the small stuff as much. Moon in a square to Jupiter, it has a couple different tendencies, but one of them is to help us not, like I said, like not sweat the small stuff, like not really be in an emotional state where we're really focusing on like the nitpicky details of what's making us unhappy. It has a tendency to help us like see the bigger picture of things and be able to focus more so on that and not be so like, you know, caught up or dragged down into like the more, just the smaller stuff or the more like unnecessary details that might just not be making us super happy in the moment. So that is definitely helpful in this energy. Now with Jupiter in the square to the moon, and the black moon being activated like this can bring up questions and doubts over our ability to trust or believe in ourselves. The square aspect, conflict, tension, like internal just like irritation or frustration. Jupiter, trust, faith, belief. The moon, our emotions. We may feel a little bit, you know, in this black moon energy, like questioning whether or not we can truly have faith in our ability to make the progress that we want to make for ourselves at this point in time. So this could definitely be coming up as well. But it, again, like, it does have a tendency of helping us to overlook the more minor irritations of stuff. But we do want to watch for overblown projections of ego, arrogance, self-righteousness. Also, when we have the moon forming the square to Jupiter, and also in the sign of Aries, this is again bringing in like this ego, could be some overblown ego and ego projections as well. Self-righteousness, like I said, arrogance in the context of the black moon energy also being activated. Now, another thing I want to say in the context of the moon-Jupiter opposition, the moon-Jupiter opposition can also have a tendency of causing us to like overindulge in things for the purpose of trying to make ourselves feel better in some type of a way. And the black moon right now happens to be at 15 degrees of Cancer. And that Sabian symbol is a group of people who have overeaten and enjoyed it. So with this this specific degree in place for the black moon, and also simultaneously the moon forming the square to Jupiter, we are probably going to want to watch overindulging in things today, overdoing things today in order to like self-soothe, self-medicate, help ourselves feel better, because that is just another thing that could be very triggered in this energy. Also, these big, like Jupiter, we're talking about overblown, like excessive displays of triggered emotions, triggered black moon emotions, fears, insecurities, doubts could also be coming up, like people just like over the top about like expressing their worries or their fears or their self-limiting beliefs or their like subconscious like issues just really being triggered in a very over the top way. Or like I said, like projections as well, like people could really be being extra ugly in this energy, although I do feel like this is being tempered by the square that is going on. But the square from Jupiter to the moon, this is also bringing these big overblown emotions, and with the projection and the ability, the like ego stuff that's also going on with the sun. This is another aspect of what we're talking about as well that I haven't gotten to yet. The sun is also moving into square with Mars this week. Mars is ruling Aries, where Jupiter is right now. So there could definitely be like an aspect of whatever is playing out that is just like expanding egos right now and causing people to be very, very identified and attached to their own ideas as like a concept of their own ego identity, and simultaneously as a result of that feeling like very defensive, very threatened, very attacked if anybody has anything to say or any type of critical anything about any type of like idea or thought or understanding that they've arrived at or what they have to say. Like this is something that is coming throughout the course of this week, and it might spark off a little bit today with that moon squaring Jupiter and these black moon issues, but people definitely could be projecting in a lot of ways as well, like putting all of everything that they can't process about themselves onto people in their environment and around them, and you know, sort of saying like it's your fault. And so that just may be something that is also coming up in the energy today, the way that this is playing out. And this also goes back to the other aspect that I was talking about in my intro today, this Mercury trine Pluto that we have going on, in the context of just having Mercury in opposition to Neptune all weekend, and this black moon energy that we have going on, and this Mars square sun energy that we have pending. Today, one of the major features of today is that we are actually digging for truth today, looking for solutions to deep problems, solving mysteries, searching for something perhaps that we've lost. We may be trying to recover something today in this energy, and almost like obsessively or compulsively just like digging for answers, digging for truth. Or we could actually be like literally looking for something. Like we may realize that we haven't, like this might be like an energy or a day where we realize like we haven't seen something in a while and we need it and we need to find it, and we're like tearing through everything trying to find something. Or we might just be like trying to figure something out. Like that is another way that this energy can manifest. But in earth signs, like what's actually happening, like it could actually translate into us like physically, literally looking for something. But it's just interesting that this aspect comes into effect the day after, you know, we've had this weekend of Mercury opposition Neptune. Because in Mercury opposition Neptune shrouds things in like this fog and illusion, and Neptune, a lot of times things are hidden from us, and Mercury is the mind. Like Mercury is our thoughts and ideas and understanding and our intellect and our rationality. Like with Mercury in opposition to Neptune, things are generally being hidden from us. Like everything's a little foggy, like everything's a little shrouded. We're not seeing things clearly. We're not seeing the whole story. We're not seeing the whole truth. But when we get a Mercury coming into a trine with Pluto, oh, we are digging for truth. We are digging for answers. We are finding what's missing. We are finding what's been hidden. Like we are getting to the root. We are getting to the bottom. We are finding the cure. We're finding the solution. We're solving the problem. Like that's just what's happening in this energy, just organically. So like we are like into mysteries. Like we're into like, you know, like penetrating insight into anything. It's like fascinating to us, and it's not just like we need to make it happen, like we need to get it done, but we're also just like sort of like mentally geared in that way and interested in it. And again, with this happening in earth signs, it could be something in relation to like money or finances, material possessions, stuff like that, but it also could just be in terms of values as well, and value systems and what we're valuing and what's valuable to us. And it just brings up like, you know, things actually happening. Like the things that we are discovering now have some type of tangible like impact on our physical lives. Again, whether we're like searching for something that we've lost and we are like finding it in this energy today, or whether we are going through some type of like mental transformation. Like that's another thing that this energy describes, like a mental transformation that really helps us to figure something out or to find something out, either like deeply about ourselves that really changes us and regenerates us in some way, or about like some situation. Like this is the type of stuff that we are talking about. So it can be very internally transformative, great day for self-analysis, introspection, can really create a powerful subconscious transformation or regeneration that goes on based on what we're discovering in this energy today. Also, this can represent some very powerful information, something really powerful and transformative that we are learning, or encounters or meetings or conversations that are just like really powerful, really mind-blowing, really profound in some type of a way. Conversations also that can transform our beliefs or our understandings about something, and communications generally across the board in this energy today on Monday are likely to be more serious and profound in nature. Just that's what it is, and very like direct and insightful, okay? Something is having a powerfully transformative effect on our mind, on our subconscious, on our psyche when we have Mercury coming into an exact trine with Pluto as we do today. And again, this is interesting because of all this Virgo energy that we have coming up. The sun is going to be moving into Virgo tomorrow. Mercury will still be in a trine, not an exact trine as today, but only 1 degree orb off. That's still a pretty serious trine that's going to be going on tomorrow as the sun moves into the sign of Virgo. So this makes me feel as though and Mercury, right, is the ruler of Virgo. So what is happening with Mercury in the sun's, on the day of the sun's entrance into the sign of Virgo is important. And I feel like Mercury being in the trine to Pluto for this period of time when the sun is going to be entering Virgo tomorrow is telling us that throughout the sun's transit of the sign of Virgo, this energy is likely to be a dominant theme of something having a powerful transformative effect on our mind, of us learning some really like profound, like life-changing information that really just like helps us see the truth about something. Secrets exposed. This is also secrets exposed energy. So I feel like these themes are going to be sort of dominant the entire period that the sun is transiting the sign of Virgo. And again, we also, it's funny because the day before the new moon in Virgo, we also have some other really powerful aspects going on, and Mercury is moving to the sign of Libra. So really interesting. Anyways, like I said, again, like this energy is following on the tails of this Mercury-Neptune opposition, which could have had us being very disoriented, very confused, very unsure of what to do, very just sort of like in a state of like almost like mental paralysis in some type of a way. But with this energy coming through, we are searching for the truth. We are digging for the truth now. So we should get there too. Like we should find what we're looking for in this energy. It's also interesting because the Sabian symbol positions of the sun and the moon, or the sun and the earth today, are actually describing this process and what is going on, in my opinion, with Mercury and Pluto in their trine today. We have the sun at 30 degrees of Leo, last degree of Leo, right? About to move into Virgo tomorrow. That Sabian symbol is an unsealed letter, has vital and confidential information. And then the position of the earth, the state of things on the ground, what's happening on the ground, 30 degrees of Aquarius today. That Sabian symbol is moonlit fields once Babylon are blooming white. And to me, okay, moonlit fields once Babylon are blooming white, to me, this is about like some type of purge or purification or rectification energy that is going on, taking things that were once in a state of inversion, putting them right into a state where they are purified and able to align with organic growth. We're also talking about moonlit fields. This is some type of an exposure, something illuminated that is coming in regards to some type of distortion that is being made right, to some type of purge, purification, regeneration process. All of the themes of Pluto, you guys, and then the position of the sun, an unsealed letter, has vital and confidential information. Like, that's Mercury, literally the messenger planet, literally delivering that letter. So even the sun and the earth today are talking about some type of information, some type of profound, like confidential secret, or like information that we are discovering, that we are opening, we are unsealing this letter. And the impact of it is this purge, purification, regenerative effect that is putting things right somehow, that is returning or restoring the peace and the balance from what once had been inverted and like operating along the lines that were contradictory to its purpose, to what is like right, organic, authentic, true, natural, and along the proper like evolutionary trajectory. So whatever is coming out, whatever secrets are being exposed, whatever we're looking for, whatever we're finding out, like there's some, whatever mental transformation is going on this week, there's some aspect of this that is helping to put things right for us or set us back on a proper course to purify us in some type of a way in terms of this transformative effect that is going on in our mind. And it could also be a deeply subconscious thing as well. Pluto ruling like the subconscious. Now I want to talk for a minute about the position of Mercury and Pluto themselves, the Sabian symbols, where this trine is happening today. Mercury, 27 degrees of Virgo. That Sabian symbol is aristocratic elderly ladies drinking afternoon tea in a wealthy home. Sabian symbol always makes me giggle a little bit. And Pluto is at 27 Capricorn, a mountain pilgrimage. But I feel like this trine at these degrees really, again, is talking about like, what do we find truly valuable and enjoyable? Maybe up for some type of transformation. Like, I feel like this is talking about like a shift or a transformation in what it is that we truly value, what we truly relate with, what we truly find enjoyable, and what we truly find valuable also as a result of that. Some type of elevated viewpoint, elevated perspective, like some type of experience-based process, a mountain pilgrimage, wisdom gained through experience that is somehow transforming our mental concept of like what we find valuable, desirable, enjoyable, and relatable at this period of time. That may be how this is sort of playing into effect. So that could be interesting. That could have, this could be just like deeply penetrating, insightful day. We may really be gaining some very deep awareness, self-awareness, personal truths, seeing the root issues of something. You know, Mercury rules the twins, partnership, like in partnership dynamics as well. We may be discovering the truth about something, but it provides solutions, right? It's about finding out what's not working and making it work, or finding the solution or solving the problem in some type of way, but like really, really getting to the truth. So that is what we're dealing with today in terms of like the primary aspect that's coming through on the outside of this black moon energy as well, and also this moon in the square to Jupiter. So, you know, after the Mercury-Neptune opposition this weekend, it could just, you know, really be triggering some like deep fears within us, but simultaneously pushing us to want to figure some things out for ourselves. Now, the last thing that we need to talk about today, and this is an aspect that will be building all week through the 26th, and then it will start waning out, is the square that is building between the Sun and Mars. And the Sun and Mars and square, this is always a more tense, conflicting energy. It brings a battle of wills. It can bring serious ego conflicts going on. But the sign placement that this square is happening at right now, Mars is in the sign of Gemini, the Sun is in the sign of Virgo. Both of these planets are ruled by both of these signs are ruled by the planet Mercury. And if you guys watched my August overview, I was talking about how as we got more towards the new moon in Virgo, as we got more towards the end of August, there were going to be these like info war, like information war themes coming up, like a battle of ideas, like a battle of minds, a battle of wills, like just conflicts over ideas generally going on. And this is really kicking up this week, you know, starting Monday, but building through the 26th and then waning out after that. But this is definitely, actually though, this is a really significant feature of our Virgo new moon itself. So it's going to be carrying through the next few weeks as this new moon unfolds, but it's definitely building all week. And the new moon in Virgo is ruling both planets in this aspect. So this is actually something that we are going to be dealing with for a while, but it's going to reach its peak this week and bringing all of this, like I said, information war energy. And the problem is what we have going on with all this excess Mercury energy, and also Mars ruling the ego in the sign of Gemini, in the sign of the mind. When we have Mars ruling the ego in the sign of the mind, this can a lot of times create a scenario where we are attaching our ego, like our personal identity, to our thoughts, to our ideas, to our understandings, to our mindsets. So if someone has a critical word to say about what we think, we take that as a personal attack, like on ourselves, and feel entitled to be very defensive about it. And when we have Mars in the sign of Gemini, this is like words for weapons. This is like verbal attacks. So something to be aware of over this next couple of weeks. And also today with this black moon energy, which creates a stronger or like a stronger tendency to project generally, we may just want to like really be aware that people may be spouting out. Like people may just be not holding back in terms of displays of more negative verbal reactions to things, over attaching to ideas, identifying with ego, ideas, thoughts, like as like fused with one's own persona, and just ready to go to war over it, ready to attack over it, ready with the verbal artillery. There could be, this is also rules like slander and gossip and stuff like that as well. So we want to try to refrain from those things in this energy, but just also be aware that like there's just a greater likelihood for those things at this period of time. And this is a long extended stay of Mars in Gemini. Mars is going to be in Gemini for 8 months, you guys, because Mars is going to retrograde in Gemini. This has not happened. Mars has not had an 8-month transit of the sign of Gemini since like 1990. And so we're throwing it back to the early 90s, you guys. If you've been alive long enough to have been an age that you can really remember what was happening in your life around 1989, 1990, you may want to look back to that period of time because there may be some similar themes that are like coming back up now, or things that like it may be like things that happened at that point in time might actually be coming to some type of resolution now in some type of a way, one way or another. I don't know. There's a lot of positive things about Mars and Gemini, but there's also, it's like with any sign, any octave, any planet, there's a positive and a negative. And there's a lot of good things that are likely to come with Mars and Gemini, including like technological innovations and ability to be much more like connected and to communicate information in a better way. There's a lot of likely to be like technological innovations in our ability collectively to be able to communicate, to share information, to sort of like come together. And it is all, and also like business transactions and stuff like that as well. There's a lot, I'm not going to get into all of it right now, but there's a lot of good stuff that's associated with Mars and Gemini too. I don't mean to just be like all like, gossip, slander, conflict, blah, 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 wars of words and all that, but that just also is a feature of this energy. And the way that things are setting up right now because of the square aspect going on to the sun, guys, this is just indicating this, especially with, again, the sun in the sign of Virgo, Mars in the sign of Gemini. This is Mercury, 2 Mercury planets coming to a head, and Mars and the sun. This is like all fire, so war of words, thoughts, ideas. People are likely to be quite hostile, aggressive, and cutting generally this week. So this is not the week, you guys. Like, this is not the week to poke the bear, okay? Like, this is not the week to get in unnecessary fights, debates, arguments, especially over things that aren't that serious, but we are just taking personally. Like, that's what these are likely to be about. It's like, it's not even that serious in a lot of cases. It's just like fickle. Like, it's just like, I think this and you think that, and because I think this and you think that about me, like, therefore you are coming for me, like, personally, and I'm going to come for you personally. Like, that's just sort of how this is. Like, there's an issue with being like, I still like you as a person, even though, you may feel this way or you may feel that way, and I may disagree or you may disagree. Like, we can still get along and we can still, like, look past that one thing and, like, still see, like, the greater identity behind, you holding that one particular idea. But when we have this Mars and Gemini, especially with a square to the sun as well, it's like, no, like, if you have a problem with my perception, if you have a problem with my thoughts, if you have a problem with what I think about something, then you have a problem with me, then I have a problem with you, then I have something to say, and here is what it is. So that may just be something, you guys. But it's going to be interesting because on the 26th, when this exact aspect comes into play, we are also going to have Venus at an exact square to Uranus, while Mercury ruling this aspect, because Mercury rules Gemini, where Mars will be, is also moving into Libra that day, ruled by Venus. So I was saying earlier, we may feel like really taking flight. Like, this may be the week where things come to a head so much we're just like, nope. I'm freeing myself. Like, I just have a desire to escape. I have a desire to free myself. And I need to restore some type of mental peace, mental harmony, mental balance in one type of way. And if that requires me making a choice or making a decision to pursue something that I just want or desire at this point in time, like, I'm going to do it. So that is sort of the energy that may be playing out alongside this Mars Sun square when it comes exact on the 26th, though. Oh goodness, you guys, we've got a week. We've got a week playing out, but I still, like, I still feel like the first 2 weeks of this month, like, take the cake. You know what I mean? Like, I still feel like even though this is likely to be a really sticky week, lots of hostility perhaps going on, I still feel like it's not as intense as the first 2 weeks of the month of August, and it's going to be very interesting to see what happens when Uranus goes retrograde in the context of things that started to happen with that Mars-Uranus North Node conjunction that happened the July 31st, 1st of August. So you guys, it's going to be a week of surprises, I do feel, but we are just going to want to try to keep a bit of a handle on our like verbal explosions, okay? That's another thing. We really want to think before we speak. We want to think before we act this week in this Mars Gemini energy, especially in the square to the sun, because a lot of times it can just have us like very hot-headed and like a verbal eruption going on. So we're going to deal with it, and we're going to do our best, and we are going to do our best to stay calm and to stay grounded and to channel, writing or just making an audio recording of ourselves and playing it back and never sending it to anybody, typing out an email and not sending it. Like, this is the better way to use this energy. We don't want to follow through, most likely, on the actual sending of the message, but if we need to get it out, writing it, speaking it, getting it out, channeling it out, but maybe just not pressing send is a better way to deal with it. Now let's talk, you guys, about the tarot message that came out today. I said that we got a whole story coming out today to describe, what the collective message is for us for Monday to start our week this week, and I feel like this is sort of giving us an indication of where we're at and what's to come. And it's good news, you guys, actually. It's just, I feel like, again, it's talking about, whenever I get a lot of cards coming out, I feel like it's talking about us being in some like very busy energy. But let's see. The first card that and so I'm going to tell the story. I'm not going to, describe and talk about all the meanings of every card, but first card that we had coming out of the deck was the Ace of Wands, you guys. And this is about some type of new inspiration, some type of new passion or new idea or creative divine inspiration, some type of like just life force energy that is coming to us, some type of energetic impulse or some type of passion or something that is like inspiring us in some type of a way. Now, the next card that we had coming out of the deck was the King of Pentacles in reverse. So to me, this is like actually talking about like some type of inspiration perhaps to like break free from a commitment or to like sort of like abandon maybe things that we've been working on or things that we've been putting a lot of energy into or things that we've been growing or things that we've been creating or things that we've been building. Or this could also pertain to like our personal status quo, like sort of being disheveled or being upside down at this period of time. And us actually, the next card though that we had coming out of the deck is the Eight of Wands. Like it's like it doesn't even matter though. It's like we're not even paying attention to it. It's like either we are coming to a point where we're deciding that we want to free ourselves from some type of longstanding commitment that we've been in based on some type of new inspiration that's coming to us, or it's like whatever state of upheaval or of upside down sort of like our situation is in at this point in time. It's like it's almost like this new inspiration, this new passion, this new like idea that is coming to us is like hitting us so quickly. It's like we're not even necessarily that worried about it. It's like we're okay with sort of like moving forward. And we are okay with moving forward because then the next card that came out was the Fool. So we're starting something new. So it's like this right here, this combination of four cards is talking about some type of new inspiration, new idea, new passion that is hitting us very quickly, causing us to really want to like make a fresh start, go in a new direction, try something new, start something over, and like leave in the past maybe the things that we've built, the things that we've established, the things that we've committed to previously. This is like us moving away from sort of like the world that we built around ourselves in one way or another, based on some type of inspiration that is really hitting us quickly and causing us to really want to take off, go in a new direction. Because why? Because we have a Knight of Pentacles, because we're seeing a new opportunity. We're seeing the potential for progress along different lines. It's like we want to start something new. We want to grow something new. We want to put our energy and our value and take it in a new direction. And it's going to be a slow process. It's a slow, gradual process. And like, we're realizing that, but it's like, we want to get it started. We want to get it moving. And we're not so concerned with, you know, what we need to, the old life essentially that we need to leave behind in order to get there, because then the sun is coming out, because it's like something has been illuminated to us. It's like, this is what our passion is. Like, this is what makes us feel alive. This is what makes us feel whole. This is what makes us feel purpose. This is what makes us feel like we're thriving. And this is what is like bringing us through this rebirth process. It's like this inspiration that is coming to us. It's like, that is what makes us feel alive. It's like, that is what makes us feel our purpose. It's like, that is the rebirth that is causing us to want to go on this new journey and start this new pursuit, and sort of like I said, forsake the things that we had established in the past that we're realizing are not in alignment with that which is bringing us joy. Then we had the Queen of Swords coming out, because this is our truth. This is the clarity that we're coming to. This is the this is the like crystal clear perception that we are arriving at as a result of whatever inspiration is hitting us. It's like we've realized it, like we've awakened to it, like we know this is what we need to do to move forward in a way that is going to make us really feel alive and really feel happy and really come in touch with our purpose, despite having to leave behind any of the things that we've created in the past. And then we got the Nine of Swords in reverse. And this is actually like, this process of doing this is going to free us from our fears and our anxieties. It's like we are overcoming our fears in this. We are overcoming our self-limiting beliefs. We are overcoming the things that keep us up at night, the worries, the fears, the anxieties, the doubts, just the things that stress us out generally. Like, this process, that's another reason that we're doing it. It's because look at these two reversals. We have the Nine of Swords and we have the King of Pentacles. It's like whatever commitment we were in, it's like whatever like established status quo or thing that we built for ourselves, this is what has been keeping us up at night. This is what has been contributing to our worry and our fears and just a lack of peace going on within us. But this process, this Ace of Wands, this new inspiration, this Eight of Wands, following it, this Fool, taking a risk, setting out on a new journey, like not being afraid, taking a leap of faith towards moving forward and growing and cultivating along the lines of this new opportunity that we are recognizing that is bringing us back to life, and it is in alignment with our authentic truth. Queen of Swords, Aquarius. That is what is helping actually to free us from the mental subconscious issues that have been holding us back and keeping us attached to things that are out of alignment with our authentic truth. And then on the back of the deck, we had the Page of Cups in reverse. We're no longer settling for things that aren't meaningful or aren't valuable to us. And then finally, we had the Queen of Pentacles coming out. And so we've gone from the Ace of Pentacles after starting our new journey, taking a risk, taking a leap of faith. We are not the Ace of Pentacles, the Knight of Pentacles, going after this new opportunity, growing this new opportunity. Ultimately, we come to the Queen of Pentacles upright from the King of Pentacles in reverse. So we are rebuilding our life. We are rebuilding our world, but in a way where we can truly receive divine feminine, that which brings us like a true sense of abundance in this world, along like physical, mental, spiritual. So that's what the tarot cards are saying this week, you guys. And we do have a very big week of some very shifting and changing energy. So that may be a pretty on point reflection of some of the internalized processes, especially with that Mercury and trine to Pluto as well that we are experiencing to start our week and moving through the week this week. Now let's draw a synchronicity card, you guys. One more piece of advice from God, Spirit, Universe to help us navigate the energy today as we are starting this week. There it is. The card that came out, you guys, it says persist. It says, because of his persistence, ask and it will be given to you, seek and you will find, knock and it will be opened to you. Luke 11:8-9. Nothing is too large or too small, and your persistence in believing in God's ability to provide whatever it is you seek will bring you to your goal. Persistence, waiting, patience, and never failing faith will lead you to your goal. And that actually is, this Knight of Pentacles, this is persistence. Persistence, waiting, patience, and never failing faith will lead you to your goal. And the Queen of Pentacles is being represented as the outcome of this transformation that we are making from being attached to the certain things out of fear, but that are simultaneously weighing very heavy on us and keeping us from aligning with our authentic truth and doing what is truly in our heart. Like, that is the shift that is being represented in the messages coming through in the tarot this week, and our synchronicity message is persist. So that is what I have to say today, you guys. A message from the stars, a message from the cards. I hope you liked it. I hope I was able to provide something for you that can give you just a little bit of whatever you're needing as you're navigating your day today and starting this week. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you did like this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends if you think that they would like this type of content and be interested too. Leave me comments, you guys. I absolutely love your comments. I love your feedback. I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. Thank you so much for being here again. I have a Facebook page, a Facebook group, a website, and some other social media stuff. Those are in my description box below. And come back with me tomorrow, you guys. We've got another day. We've got the sun moving into Virgo, and I'm sure there's going to be some other stuff going on alongside of that. So we'll be talking about that, and I'll be here. You should be here too. You don't want to miss it, and I will see you then, guys. Have a beautiful day, and until tomorrow, bye everyone.